I thought for the topic, I'm just gonna bring up a few notes on the topic and ended up kind of writing a whole rant on the topic.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's especially after our conversation earlier in the week.
Yeah.
It's a good topic.
I think this topic crosses over into a lot of different areas. I was doing a little reading before a couple days out, and yeah, this, the randomly made up words that come out of some people's mouths, and it's like it's the same concept in a lot of different industries. Somebody latches onto an idea and becomes an expert at it because they can say magical new words that people are like, ooh, what does that mean? That sounds really interesting. It's like they really don't know what they're talking about.
Or they supplement those words and those words and terms and everything into their statement to try and make
I'll
it.
touch on that.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a few examples of people that I could name, but I'm not going to name.
So
I know who you're talking about.
Name them.
No.
Name them.
I'm
joking.
No.
I'm joking.
On
joking.
stream.
So the funny thing is, I think that actually comes from the fact that if you can control the language of a particular industry, then you can be seen as an expert. So, but that's just
So what's the person that we like so much? I don't remember her name, Joe.
Don't know who you're talking about, and we're live, and we don't throw shade. So there you go.
All right.
So
No, we're live.
I think I know exactly, but yeah.
I am blanking on a word.
The name
I'm
as
like,
well.
no, I know the name. It's literally, that's all that's in my mind right now. It's just, I'm trying to write this tweet, and it's like, words are
Multiple
hard.
things. Words are hard. Multitasking is impossible.
It's not like you're not busy or anything, Joe, and have a bunch of stuff in your mind,
Right.
Did you get a new mic, Matt?
Hmm?
Did you get a new mic setup, Matt?
Yes.
Okay.
He's styling now, isn't he?
Is it good?
He's all
Bad?
upgraded as well.
Yeah.
Sound-
No. I tried.
You look schmancy.
This can
Did I
be
just see a
deceiving.
cat run in the background? Yes, I did.
Yeah. You will
Hello,
see.
cat.
You will see 20,000 cats. I have 4, but it'll look like 20,000 cats. There is one.
I have one large dog that acts like 5. So
I have a small cat that acts like a dog, and she's on the keyboard right now. Go.
Go.
away.
my dog is on the floor, laying down right next to his bed.
Close. I mean,
His
it's
head
close.
is leaning on the bed. The other day was actually on the floor with 2 paws on the bed. It's like, close enough.
Even closer.
My cat is currently sleeping in the box that her pet bed came in.
That's a tip. Oh my god.
Why
That's my
buy
life.
expensive things when you just give them boxes?
Hey, man. Both my
son
daughters.
does the same thing.
Yep. You could have a $500 toy or gadget coming out of a box, and the box is more exciting. I literally we got a new refrigerator, and it actually came with a box, and that thing was a part of our living room for about 3 weeks, and it was the most colorful thing you have ever seen.
Yep.
And it was awesome. I would even get into it. I mean, there were blankets, pillows. I think at one point, this was with our oldest daughter, there was snacks in there. She swipe food and throw it in there. It's like, Dad, I got Twizzlers. My kind of box. Let's go. How many? 4?
When my sister-in-law got her baby rocker, it came in one of those heavy-duty, like double line corrugated, and yeah, we chopped that up and put windows in it and an actual opening door. I think we've had it now for 5 months, sitting in the living room.
Only 5 months?
Well, the baby's only 3 months old. Come on.
Oh, fair enough. All right.
The rocker, we have the Mamaru, and that thing is a godsend.
The Mamaru?
Yep. So it's a, it's like a rocker, but rather than just rocking, it has a motor inside that'll go
Oh,
up and down, side to side, or figure eight.
that's
Yo.
cheating.
It was awesome. I just took it out of storage for the second one.
Those Mamaroos are not cheap.
Oh, there.
We got it
Mm.
second hand on Facebook Marketplace. We
Nice.
didn't actually spend that bad.
Everybody's using
like
this
150
Facebook
bucks.
Marketplace, man. I gotta get on the bandwagon with this Facebook. I don't even have a Facebook. All right, I'm babbling. All right,
Oh, good.
As we tend to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all set. We're ready to go. Who wants to do the opener and disclaimer this week? Any takers?
Doesn't matter to me. I can do it again if you want.
I'll do it eventually.
Okay.
Today is not.
I just pulled it up here.
This is it right here if you're watching the stream. Oh, everything went away.
Is the stream away?
No,
Oh. No.
I meant to do that.
Did you? You
Oh.
sure?
Yep.
I see.
That's
I see-
Good. professional podcasters here.
Yeah. I'm so,
It's not like we've been doing this for what, 3 years?
I know. It's like it's one of those things where it's like, Joe, stop screwing around. I tend to break stuff. Okay. All right. If you want to go ahead and rock it out, we will get going.
All right, everyone ready to do the clap?
Sure.
What?
We're gonna do a clap. So on 1, 2, 3, and then we all clap, just to sync up the audio.
Give a marker.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Hello, and thank you for joining us once again for the Guardians MH podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Goku, and with me tonight we have Joe,
Hello.
Nate,
Howdy.
Alan,
What's up?
and Matt.
Hey, hey.
If you're joining us for the first time, Guardians MH is a 501c3 nonprofit focused on promoting mental health awareness throughout the gaming community and with being a first step in assisting individuals with gathering meaningful resources in a safe and inclusive atmosphere. Our podcast is another way to normalize talking about mental health and is a fusion of mental health and gaming topics. So tonight we are happy to welcome our guest, Bill. How are you doing,
Hello,
Bill?
hello. I am well, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, man. It's such an honor. I know you've had me and Dr. Goku on, and you've spoke with us in the past and invited us on one of your charity streams that you've done. It was such an honor to be included and to come on and talk with you. And you're just one of the nicest guys in the world. I mean, it's always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure chatting with you and having the opportunity to, pick up a conversation whenever we get the opportunity. So thanks a lot for coming on with us.
I am thrilled to death to be here. I have to say, you guys are the group that I point to first when people talk about dealing with mental health issues online, dealing with mental health issues as far as online resources. So yes, I'm extremely grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment, man. We appreciate it. We try.
We try. That's the key word, try.
That's right.
Yep. I was gonna say that's all we can do. Let's try.
Exactly.
One of the things that we actually do enjoy doing too is also paying it forward to other organizations. No organization is a one-stop shop. You're naive if you think your organization is that. You're naive. Every organization does something absolutely spectacular and amazing for people, and it would be just wrong to not highlight them and guide people to those resources. So we love being able to highlight other organizations and guide people to them, because there's just so many great resources out there. And, you know, if we all work together, we can do incredible things for everyone in and out of the gaming community. I mean, that's what we do.
Yes.
And each and every organization tends to do things just a little bit differently than others. Even though they're all, example, in the mental health field, even though they're have that singular focus, each organization brings a little something different.
Yes. But why don't we dive right into it? What has everybody been playing? What have you guys been playing? Bill, what have you been playing lately?
Actually, I've been playing some I played some Warzone. I've been playing Warzone, and I have evolved to the point where I mistake rocks for people in the game, which is unfortunate. Actually, today today on the recommendation of a friend, I downloaded I downloaded a game from Steam. It's free to play. It's the first offering from Amazon called Crucible. It's sort of like Overwatch meets Destiny. Has some interesting features. I played it a little bit today to get kind of used to the movement. I'm excited for that one. So.
I've been seeing a lot about that game recently. A lot of the.
Yeah, I've kind of seen it dabbled here and there.
Yeah, Dr. Lupo was actually playing it earlier this morning. It looks like a good game.
Yeah, it does.
I've been hearing good things about a Warzone as well.
Yeah.
I have it. I just haven't really sat down and played it, but I've been hearing good things about it.
Well, the funny thing about Warzone for me is that I have to readjust my entire mindset. Playing Warzone and playing Destiny 2 are two completely different shooters.
Oh yeah.
And so I have to think much more tactically playing Warzone. I have to really specialize my loadouts. I have to always think 2 and 3 steps ahead, especially with the map. It's a totally different game. I am horrible at it right now, but then I also remember this. I was horrible playing PvP in the Destiny until I decided I'm going to be good at this. So it's just one of those next step things, you know.
I'm looking forward to trying Warzone. I need to get a group of people to play with, but it kind of brings me back to my Battlefield days. So back in Bad Company 2, and certainly when Battlefield 3 was kind of the main game, that was my jam. Me and a group of people would play Battlefield 3 all the time.
I don't think I've ever played Battlefield, ever.
I remember Battlefield 3.
Oh,
I remember when that came
It was
out.
so good.
Was that,
It's so good.
is that like the Mass Effect 2 to the Battlefields? Like, that was the good one?
Well, the good ones were Bad Company 2, which was a little bit more
Yes.
comical. And then Battlefield 3, it was the first, real implementation of the new Frostbite engine. And it just looked gorgeous for the time.
I remember all the
amazing.
ads about, can your PC run Battlefield 3? That was the
That
big
was the
thing.
thing. It was that new Crisis.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And the
Got
thing
it.
is, we were playing it on PS3 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were locked
God.
to 16v16.
How do you remember
On
this stuff?
On PC was 32v32, so it was a 64-man server. And when Battlefield 4 came out, on PS3 it was still locked to 16v16. But as soon as you hopped onto PS4 for Battlefield 4, it opened up the 64-player maps, and oh my god, the chaos.
It was so much fun. I remember that game vividly. It was great.
I loved it.
You know what? I'm gonna have to listen to some stories here in the near future from both of you guys, because this, just looking at your expressions here, reminiscing over this game is just entertaining in itself.
And surprisingly, Battlefield 3 still has a very active user base.
Oh yeah.
Like a 10-year-old game.
Wow, that's kind of surprising, actually.
Oh, people still play Witcher. and Destiny 1. I mean,
True.
there's still a
Yeah,
community
that's
there.
true.
I mean, shoot, they still have tournaments for the original Smash Brothers and Pac-Man.
Smash 6.
Go
Yep.
way
Melee.
back.
Melee and 64 are big in the
Yeah.
tournament scenes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
Absolutely.
Matt, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a ton of Overwatch, actually, recently with the new event that just came out, the anniversary event. So I've been playing a ton of Overwatch. And this little game that I found at PAX East, not this year, the following, the year before,
Mm-hmm.
called Mage Quit.
Yeah, I know that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I played it for a little bit. I put it down. I got back into it. I forgot how much fun it is to have like 10 little wizards just fighting it out on an island and like a winner take all thing. It's great.
I wish
So
some of
that's
some of these other games would get more spotlight, because
Yeah.
some of these little or lesser name studios and games are just so much fun. And
Oh man.
I remember that one. I had a
Yeah,
thing for
that
it.
one was a lot of fun.
Every year I've gone to PAX, I actually, how you just go around, you just grab everything. I have every year. I have like, I don't know where it is, but somewhere in my office, there's like I have a giant bag that has a bag for every year of PAX I've been to. So every single year, you open that bag and there's all the like cards and flyers and all that little stuff. Like I found Chips Ahoy cookies from 4 years ago that one of the booths was handing out in excessive amounts, and I grabbed a bunch of them because you forget to eat while you're at conventions and this and that. I
Yes,
thought,
you
like,
do.
you know what, this would be really good. And this was actually I think the Cookie Brigade was there.
Oh,
We
love the
highlight
Cookie
them.
Brigade.
We highlight them at our booth. We did this year. We put them on the corner to. Dude, I'll tell you what, and you can ask Alan. I don't know how many times people came into the Diversity Lounge and looked at our booth and go, "That's the Cookie Brigade." I go, "Yeah, of course." We actually put a corner to our booth and dedicate it to the Cookie Brigade to bring snacks into the Diversity Lounge, because people forget to eat. When they see it, they're reminded, and they pick
That's
up cookie.
awesome.
I think they came 2 or 3 times to empty the till that filled up,
Yeah.
and they were so thankful, and we pushed out so many cookies.
People
But
were more
they're-
shocked that the cookies weren't for sale.
Yeah, oh yeah, they always are.
Free?
Free? I
They
can
always-
take one?
Yeah, they always are. Yeah. No. No, awesome.
That's awesome.
Alan, what have you been playing?
Oh, not much of anything, unfortunately. I'm lucky if I have enough time to not fall asleep on the couch when I get home, so.
Super busy.
Just not so much busy, just hard work, tiring.
Yeah, gotcha. Well,
But I'd love to jump back into some Destiny.
yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
Nate, what have you been playing?
I actually just right before we came on the cast here was grinding out some of the beginning of the Felwinter's Lie quest.
Oh, so if you
Oh,
haven't
the-
finished that yet, I don't want to spoil it, but man, that's good stuff at the end.
I
Boy,
read
it
the
is good
lore.
stuff.
Somebody
Ooh.
Oh,
Somebody
dude.
put it in on Twitter, and I'm one of those people that I don't mind spoilers and stuff, but they wrote out like the synopsis.
yeah.
I emailed it to my brother, and he was just like, "No freaking way!"
Yeah.
It's blowing my
Oh,
mind,
yeah.
and I can't wait.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, that first step. So when you go to a Lost Stock and you go to those 3 spots, remember what Anna says, because when you get to the last step and you hear that story, it's all going to come together. So if you don't want spoilers, that's fine. I get it. I'm just saying, this is good stuff.
And after that, you have to grind like hell to get all those shotgun kills.
Yep.
See, I got tipped off on that one. A couple of buddies of mine from my clan were like, go into what's the Whisper of the Worm. You get into that one little room that's just got the thrall that spawn over and over and over and over and over again.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm at 79%. So
Yeah, I did the Castellum from Leviathan.
right. That's another good spot. But yeah, the thrall just keep coming and coming and coming.
It took me
So-
like 2 hours to get all, because it's 1,000 kills with a shotgun. So it's a
boy.
good 2 hours of grinding.
I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Yep.
Row on a podcast and kill some things with a shotgun.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's basically the only bit of gaming I've been able to get in this week. It's been pretty hectic. We've work's been kind of sideways, so I finally got to sit down and the kids were taken care of and grind it out, just to finally fire it up.
I know we're going to touch on it, but the lore in that quest is just makes me excited for what's to come.
Absolutely. I think once it all comes out, what's going to happen, I think. So I don't know if anybody remembers the glitch that happened about a week and a half ago, where if you loaded into the tower, there's a possibility that if you walked to Zavala and turned around to face Eververse, you could see part of the tower was damaged. There's a lot there. There's a lot to that. That when I heard that story, I'm like, that little piece makes a ton of sense right now. So, well, but see, here's the thing. So I don't want to spoil it, but once you hear the end of it, so if you watched what happened early on when the bunker on Io opened up and you walked in, and you got that scene, right? And he had Vala there, and he says, "Okay, Rasputin, I believe in you. I trust you." Once you hear the rest of this,
Don't really trust Rasputin no more.
Oh, Zavala's gonna be pissed off. Yep, exactly. Just saying.
Rasputin has evolved to become a manipulator finally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will hold it.
We will. Haven't been playing much. Been watching movies, like I said, lately, but played a little bit of Doom Eternal, so kind of getting my way through that. Finished the Lie quest. Again, so much grinding for those shotgun kills. But last night, for some odd reason, I could play Doom, could play Final Fantasy, but I decided to play Sim City on my PC because I've had it for ages. And I used to play it on my old clunker, and actually finally booted it up on a decent PC and played for like 2 hours. It's a game that you can just get sucked in, and it's just mindless.
Yeah, I haven't played SimCity in forever. That's always, it was a go-to. Again, you could just put it on and you get to a point where it kind of maintains itself. And there was, at one point in time, I had it on one of the I think it was it came out for NES.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, original Sim City, and so I had it to where it was just running and running and running and running, and I'd go to school and I'd come back, and when I got home, I'd have hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, and I'd go and do all my upgrades and then let it roll. And then one day I came home and my NES was off, and my mother was very upset that I had left this thing on.
Oh no!
Oh.
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 Oh no. In fact, sometimes you'd come back and it was completely deconstructed because Godzilla would just show up.
Yep.
See, that's why I never got really into The Sims, because I'm the guy that would build a city and then just start spawning natural disasters just to see what happened.
Yeah, there's a button.
Yep.
There's a
Random
button.
tornado, make an earthquake. Yeah. Oh, good old Sim City.
Yeah. So, in the new one, I have the superhero expansion. So you can have Maximus, which is the superhero, and then I don't remember the name of the other guy. I think it's Dr. Vu or whatever it's called. So you build both of them up at the same time. So you send out henchmen, then you send out the superhero to capture the henchmen. And it's just this infinite loop.
You're blowing my mind.
Game I need to play a little.
Right?
Yeah, and it's been out for a while. Because I think this came back out in 2015, 14, 15? Maybe earlier?
I don't know. I'd have to do a quick fact check on that one. But we'll come back to that. But I have just been playing some Destiny lately. Played some Destiny over the weekend. Actually, three of us did. Dr. Goku, Matt, and I actually jumped on a stream Saturday night and did a stream for one of the charity streams for the Last Rites and Destiny 2 esports that they were doing for us. And that was a lot of fun. I had a blast with that. And Crime in Italy, I think we were up to like 3 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
It was fun, but the next day was not so fun.
Been
No,
a
but
while since I played that early into the morning. Any
Yeah.
video game, for that matter.
welcome to Destiny.
Yeah.
No, that was a lot of fun. But I just been playing Destiny, going right along. I did play a little bit of another game, just briefly. It was the name escapes me off the top of my head. It's the acronym for it is or the abbreviation I think is ADHD, and I can't remember.
It's called a dual-handed disaster.
Yes.
Yes.
A dual-handed disaster. That takes some
wow.
hand-eye coordination.
So true story. I went to Evo 2017, the very first event that I ever went to that I covered, and I met a JC. He's the dev, and I saw the original iteration of that game. I went back the next year, and he had changed. Dude, he is an awesome dude. And
He
that
is.
Game is hard. That game is really, really
it's
hard.
It's very challenging.
He has put his soul into that game.
Yep, it's a one-person dev team. Yep,
Yes.
I'm in his Discord. I chat with him
Yeah.
every so often, but I love playing the game. And dude, he anything you find something in that game, or if you have a suggestion and it works out, he will implement it. And he's wicked
an
cool.
Awesome dude. He's an awesome dude.
We're trying to figure out a good time to have him come on the podcast and chat with us.
Yeah.
That'd be a great opportunity. I know we got Gabe from. He is the psychologist on staff at Six Wings Studio. He's coming on, I believe, next month to chat with us.
Nice.
He's a great person too. Gabe. Oh God, I know you. A couple of you guys have interacted with him in the server. I don't think you knew who he was, but he's a great guy. No, yeah, great. Well, Bill, while you're chatting and you have the mic in front of you, why don't you tell us all a little bit more about you and people that might not know who you are, or what kind of content you create and this and that, and why don't you introduce everybody to you?
Well, thank you. Like I said, thank you for having me, Dr. Goku, and Joe, and Nate, Alan, and Matt. I've interviewed you, Joe, I think 2 separate times, and the second time was on a stream I did like March the 7th, where I had you and Dr. Goku, and we were talking about mental health and mindfulness. Anyway, I like content that answers why. That's my whole thing, is why this decision, why this game, why make that choice, why, and it works in business, it works in life, and so I know as a 48-year-old guy. I'm not gonna be super awesome gamer PvP guy that shoots everybody and does all the awesome things on stream. So I try to focus on why, and that's really the core question, I guess, as when it comes to our entire existence. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? What the heck am I supposed to be doing right now? And so I don't tend to get wrapped up in the drama and the day-to-day decisions of on a micro level. I like a macro view, and so I try to see things with perspective. And the great thing about it is, I'm 48 years old. I come from a time when there was no internet. I say this often, and people laugh about it. I owned an Atari 2600. I owned an Atari 2600. My first experience on the internet was on AOL, a dial-up in 1997. So I lived in the time before the connectivity, and thank God that I did, because all the stupid things that I did as a teenager, nobody remembers them because they're not on the internet. So, but
that's an advantage.
It's a major advantage. Anyway, so I make content talking about why, and so I like going into the business aspect of gaming. Esports in general needs some business acumen at the moment, and so I try to offer that. I mean, I have an MBA, and it provides me, like I said, it provides me the opportunity to look at things from a macro level when you're talking about why stuff happens. And it's not as hard as everybody thinks. Humans in general make things way harder than they have to be, because that's just how humans are. And so I find that usually the simplest explanation is the best. And I believe that's called Occam's razor, where usually the simplest explanation is usually right. People get wrapped up in conspiracy theories because they've watched too many James Bond movies. So that's just where I come from. It serves pretty well. I've worked at 4 different startups in the gaming space. I'm now on Twitch. I'm a conqueror. And people ask me, Bill, why do you call yourself Bill the Conqueror? What do you conquer? And I just say, I conquer my fear. Whatever the fear is that day, I set up to conquer that. And sometimes I succeed, and sometimes I don't. So there you go. That's me. I currently I just stream on Twitch. I do some social media for some people locally.
Love it. Love everything you do.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I mean, I see you using the voice chats in the Red Jack network all the time too. I see your name popping up in there. I lurk through the server when anything goes. We're in the server with trying to provide a little bit of mental health support to that growing community, and I always see in the voice chat, Bill's there. Bill's always on. Yeah.
Well, and on that topic of mental health, I don't envy your job, Dr. Goku, because I honestly don't, because you hear nothing but darkness and complaining most of the time. And I'm like, life is inherently better when we share light, when we share kindness, when we share, I did this awesome thing and that person did an awesome thing too. And so I purposely go out of my way, especially in that Discord, to share positive stories where I didn't think that I had this in me, but apparently I did. So I feel awesome right now, because I'm the kind of person that prefers solutions, and that's why, Dr. Goku, I don't envy your job one bit.
That was the one thing when I found out that Bill the Conqueror was coming on the podcast, and I'm sorry I wasn't familiar. I did a little stalking. I stalked your Twitter and I found your Twitch.
Wow.
That is the one thing that you exude. You exude positivity. You throw it out there, and it is contagious. And I love it. I did a skim through the Twitter, and I was like, this guy's amazing. Follow, subscribe. Like,
Thank you.
I love this guy.
Yeah, right.
So
I
I
mean,
was very happy to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Being positive, and on a side note, a lot of people kind of knock on being positive. A lot of people, when they hear having a positive mindset, and they often disregard the fact that, oh, it's not working because I've tried being positive for 2 days and I'm still feeling like crap.
Right.
It's something that happens over time.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a cognitive bias. So if you still have a negative cognitive bias, you get stuck in this negative loop. So you're going to have these confirmation biases where you're going to just see the things that confirm the way you feel. So if you feel like crap, you're going to see the things that make you feel like crap. But
Right.
if you're trying to be more
yeah.
positive
Right.
and you practice it day after day after day, then things start to become not as crap and a little bit better. And
Right.
then eventually you start having a good day.
Yeah, and see, I spent 20 years of my life as a fast pitch softball umpire. I worked my way up to the Division I college level. Okay, there's not a whole lot you can say to me that I have not heard before. It's very rare when someone comes at me with something like, "Wow, that was actually pretty good. I hadn't heard that one before." But the one trait that makes an umpire or a referee good is just having that a resilient nature. And people say it's a positive mindset. It's more of a growth mindset where, okay, I made this mistake today, I'm not going to make this mistake tomorrow or the next time. I'm going to try something new and fix that. And it's a series of small positive choices that end up being something great. I don't know if anybody remembers April 26th of 2008. Girl hits a home run over the fence softball. She misses first base. She goes back to touch first base and she tears up her knee, and the defense then picks her up and carries her around the field all the way home. Okay, that was the ultimate, and still to this day, the ultimate show of sportsmanship ever. I was the umpire on that field.
no kidding.
Drop dead serious. If you go into YouTube right now, you type in CWU softball, and you look at that video, the guy in the background background with the light blue shirt is me. And it's one of those moments in time where I'm like, I am actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And for years after that, because of that specific incident, I was one of the questions on the NCAA softball test. What happens? What do you do when this happens? And I knew the rule. And I've affected sports and affected life and affected more than I will ever know. I had someone tell me once about 3 years ago. I was driving through the Midwest. Someone who was driving through the Midwest somewhere and says, I saw the billboard with those two softball players carrying that girl around the bases, and I thought of you. And I'm like, okay, so apparently, apparently I have that effect, and it's just, it didn't happen overnight, and it's not something you wake up and you just magically know everything's awesome. You just keep on going, so
It's a conscious effort.
yeah,
That's how I explain it to a lot of people that I see. It's a conscious effort to at least positively or for one moment a day. It's just that true effort, and after a while it becomes a lot easier.
It also helps a great
Absolutely.
deal. It also helps a great deal to see other humans for what they can be and not take stuff personally, because really there's like 6 people in my life that like know me, and everybody else is like, oh yeah, that's Bill, and that's it, you know. So I work very hard at not taking things personally and trying to see others for what they can become. It's really hard to do because the world thrives on negativity right now. So
yeah, you're not wrong about that. And you know, a lot of the news and stuff like that thrive on it as well. I mean, shoot, what was there was a quote back in the Great Depression: "Don't let a good disaster go to waste." And it's a terrible thing, but there's a lot of truth in it too. You know, a lot of corporations and this and that. It's pretty bad. But I want to carry this conversation into our mental health topic for tonight. And our mental health topic tonight has developed from a conversation earlier this week that stemmed from something that a conversation that was being had over the weekend and leading into early in this week. And I'm really curious and just excited about this conversation because I feel it's seen a lot right now all over the place. As much as we love to see and help support and promote everyone that about mental health awareness and everything, but psychobabble is a real thing, and you have to be very careful what you say out in the world right now. But Dr. Goku, would you like to lead us into psychobabble?
Sure. So like you were mentioning, Joe, you need to be very careful about what you say, just because the term that you're using may not necessarily mean the thing that you think it means. So every specialized profession has its terminology that helps unify and simplify conversations between professionals. However, it's often the case that other individuals may take some of those terms and use them in their daily lives, often not using them in the correct context. In the field of psychology, this is called psychobabble, and there are multiple different versions on different types of studies or fields that you may see. So it's coming from the words psychology, which is the study of the mind, and babble, meaning the meaningless or unintelligible sounds. Psychobabble is a type of speech that relies heavily on using psychological jargon, buzzwords, or expressions, often coming from individuals who have little to no psychological training. And they are more knowledgeable or credible than they are. So please see more information on I Know It All Experts. Dr. Mike has a really good video on the topic and a TED Talk on it. And go see my discussion that we had on the Dunning-Kruger effect as well. So writer Dean Rosen coined the term as people often use colloquial psychology terms in their general speech. With the proliferation of self-help books, magazines, TV shows, and an increase in therapy, people use the terms as part of the social and cultural zeitgeist. As such, people often use psychological diagnoses and the terms associated with it as general explanations for certain behaviors. Example, OCD for liking things to be clean. The problem with this is that it tends to pathologize normal behavior as the term is misused. Example, mood swings equal bipolar. The problem with psychobabble and those who often use it negatively is that it tends to dilute the term, morphing them into something that is completely different from the scientific meaning. Some people may prey on people's lack of understanding or certain things to present miracle cures or treatments that aren't evidence-based, which can have a more harmful effect than good for the individual. A few years ago, there was a PSA made by the OPQ, which is a professional regulating body for psychologists in Quebec, Canada. They demonstrated the point of having an untrained person entering someone's mind and providing certain treatments akin to a bull in a china shop.
Okay.
So psychobabble can create wrongful labels for people. They can carry these detrimental labels with them for their entire lives, identifying and defining themselves by them, not knowing that they don't necessarily meet any of the diagnostic criteria. But this can also cause considerable amounts of emotional distress for people who do suffer from professionally diagnosed disorders, but are often minimized by people close to them due to the misunderstanding of the terms. Example, being antisocial means not wanting to stay home, away from other people, but is a pervasive personality disorder where the individual tends to disregard societal rules and are often incarcerated. Suffering from OCD, so obsessive compulsive disorder, is not wanting things to be clean or in order, but someone who suffers from a pervasive of intrusive thoughts, which can cause severe emotional distress and physical pain due to certain types of compulsions. Someone that's suffering from depression is not just someone that's being sad, but is a persistent negative thinking loop that affects all aspects of the person's life. They can't just stop being sad. People who have psychological disorders are not exaggerating their difficulties. On the contrary, psychobabble has often minimized and twisted what they struggle with on a daily basis to something that could easily be solved. Unfortunately, there is no solving or cure for mental health, as so many have pronounced. Effective psychological treatment and mental health management take time, and they help the person manage their difficulties and level the playing field. So we need to be very careful about the terms that we use. So I mentioned the mood swings. People will use, oh, I'm so bipolar because they switch from happy to sad in an hour. That's not suffering from bipolar disorder. That's just having a mood swing. Someone that suffers from bipolar disorder has a arcing high and an arcing low. And someone that suffers from bipolar 1, when they go into manic states, can cause serious financial and physical harm to themselves. They fall into a psychotic break, which is a break from reality.
Very high risk behaviors as well.
I have a client that was hospitalized not long ago because he fell into a manic state.
You know, even the more simple terms that I see thrown around a lot is addiction. You know, I'm to the show. No,
you just really like the show,
right?
So to Goku, so I guess you would call it the normalization of a term like OCD or addiction or even depression. Is that a function of? Is that sort of a function of, you know, I see other people doing this, they get attention that I want, so therefore I'm going to consciously or unconsciously, whatever that looks like, I'll do that?
Not necessarily. What happens is people generally repeat what they hear. And oftentimes, again, I mentioned that cultural zeitgeist of we hear it so many times, so we tend to associate certain things with the word rather than the psychological foundation behind the word. So oftentimes people will say, oh, I'm so depressed today. And yes, depressed is a state, but it's completely different than suffering from depression.
Okay.
So we need to make a clear distinction between those. So someone that's suffering from depression, often people say, oh, you're just depressed or you're sad. And then they're minimizing the severity of what they're going through. Because when they feel depressed, they just watch a funny movie or do something that perks up their mood and they're better. And you can't really do that when you suffer from clinical depression.
Right.
I have a few friends that suffer from, clinical migraines, and when they hear someone who's just got a bad headache go, oh my god, I'm having a migraine, they want to literally reach out and no, you don't.
Oh, I used to have friends that are medicated with migraines, and you're incapacitated for an entire day or two.
Yeah.
Like, we have a guy at work, and his name's Kevin. He gets a migraine in the morning. I can immediately see it, and it's go home. You're not gonna make it through the day. Go home. And
examples for me, I suffer from seasonal allergies for hay fever, so I take medication for it. So I'm kind of starting up now due to the weather, and most times I'm fine, but on some of those rare occasions, I don't know why, I'll have those types of allergy attacks that'll just hit me and knock me out for an entire day. It's like a switch just flipped, and I am just incapacitated for the entire day. No matter how much antihistamine I take, I'm done.
So, Doc, I wanted to get your opinion on this then, and I hope I'm not veering too much off the topic, but there's a big push on like social media and like TikTok, and they make, not that they make fun of depression, but every other TikTok is either mentioning it or saying, someone is making a video about it. Is that a form? Would that be considered something of like a psychobabble thing, where if somebody's upset, they make a video of it? I know it's a gray area. I don't want to misspeak either at the same time.
So I don't know those people. They may suffer from clinical depression. It varies from person to person for sure. But we need to be aware of who the person is talking and what they really suffer from. So one person's recollection or recounting of what's going on does not make them an expert on the topic.
Right.
It makes them an expert on them.
Right.
If you suffer from clinical depression, if you have sought therapy, it makes you an expert on you, on your depression, on what works for you.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you an expert in psychology, doesn't make you an expert in depression, doesn't make you an expert on self-help. It just makes you an expert on what works for you.
And that's a good thing.
Right, and I dealt with this a lot in a non-psychology way. Like I said, I've been an umpire for 20 years, and to hear people talk about rules because they read it one time in a book 5 years ago, or to have people sit there and try to tell you what you're doing, and they're not wearing the uniform and they have never gone through it, and when you try to explain how they're wrong in a calm and rational manner, they still think you're wrong. And so that just leads to like, okay, look, I'm not even going to waste my time with you because one, you just want to be right, and two, you don't actually care enough to want to learn.
So it comes to that discussion we had about Dunning-Kruger, and most professionals will kind of give you the same example that when we go through school, we have that first psychopathology class, and the professor will say, 1, you're going to learn about all of these psychopathologies. 2, you're going to think you have all of them. 3, diagnostic criteria that need to be understood. So you go through the class and you go, oh my God, I have this. Oh my God, this fits me. Oh my God, this is me. Where, yes, you may meet a certain criteria, but the understanding of that criteria, the minutia within the criteria, is something completely different. So it's written in a way that's very generalized, but then you need the psychological background of the clinician to kind of discern of, is it meeting the threshold or is it not meeting the threshold?
Right, right. Not everybody, and I personally don't expect anybody, but it takes, you got to be able to understand and read the DSM. Because that's really...
This would be the point where I would show you that the purple Bible. I just don't have a copy of it here.
Mine's somewhere in here.
Mine's at my office.
Yes.
Maybe it's underneath that stack of paper over there. Next to the...
Probably. It's either that or it's underneath a cat.
Yeah, so the DSM, for people that don't know, it's called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. So 5th edition, which is the Bible that all psychologists and psychiatrists use, that have all the diagnostic criterias for all of the psychological disorders within North America. When we look to Europe, they use the ICD-10. Or ICD-10.
ICD-10.
I think it's up to now.
It's up to 10, yeah. And
so the International Classification of Disorders.
And that's the key thing to remember, is that within either one of those, there's very specific criteria that must be met, met over a period of time. If you can meet the criteria for depression, but you kind of have to say, like, yeah, no, you've been having persistent symptoms for, I could be misquoting, for 6 months for a specific
most
diagnosis.
days for more than, was it around 6 months?
Yeah,
I'm rusty on that one.
And that's really the difference between, if we're looking at it at a diagnostic mode, that's the difference. It really is. It's that minute detail that could make or break a diagnosis. And you don't want to try to overdiagnose or to or oversay, or even just label, nah, you know what, you're depressed. Like, no, let's talk about it. Let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. Is it situational, or is it a clinical or a biological component here? That's more important to figure out.
And to kind of bring it back to Psychobabble, oftentimes people will take those diagnostic criterias, those elements, and jump to the conclusion of, oh, I have this. I used OCD a little bit earlier. Someone that likes things in order. They say, oh, I'm so OCD about this, or they need to do something in a specific order, because it's so used in just a zeitgeist sense of, oh, order equals OCD if you like something a certain way. And that's not even close to what OCD is.
Right.
OCD is
Myself.
this incoming obsession, pervasive, intrusive thought that kind of gnaws at you, that the only way you can tame it or calm it down is by doing a specific ritualistic behavior that creates such an impact in your life, either in your home life, your work life, your professional life, multiple aspects, that it creates that difficulty.
Yeah.
So leaving the house and checking the door once to make sure that it's locked, no, it's not suffering from OCD. Going back to the door 5 or 6 different times before leaving, that may be on the inclination towards OCD.
And that's why I was saying about the TikTok before, because you see a lot of people will say, oh, I stubbed my toe, I have depression. And it's like, no, don't believe that. Please. That's not a concern. That's not a reason.
And that, again, minimizes
Yes.
the people that do suffer from depression.
Yeah.
Because often people will say, well, I can deal with it. Why can't you?
Right. Right.
And even within the diagnostic criteria, there's varying degrees. And when you diagnose someone with major depressive disorder, you label it as mild, moderate, or severe.
Right. Right.
And then you have specifiers within that as well.
Now, you got that aspect of psychobabble, but what about the side of the person or persons that learn a bit of the language and make a false statement sound true? You know what I mean?
The snake oil salesman.
The snake oil. Yeah.
Using big words to sound smart.
Yeah, and I mean that's a part of the definition of psychobabble. You know, I it's worded differently, but it's essentially, you know, using big words to make your false statement sound true.
Right.
And I see it a lot with a lot of people trying to sound like they know what they're talking about, and anybody that has taken any sort of background in mental health or medicine or anything can see through it pretty quickly. And you listen to them out. I mean, I'm constantly surfing all over the place personally, because I love to absorb different, you know, avenues for mental health and this and that. There's hundreds of thousands of avenues, but it's finding the people that are getting quite a large following behind them, and improperly using terminology and, you know, structuring things to sound like they know what they're talking about, when in reality they have no background whatsoever and are leading people.
Right.
No.
So, Joe, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I dealt with that a lot myself. About, you know, you meet people and they have groups of followers, I guess, and they revere the leader as some kind of a guru, and I think that's a shared trait to some extent by humans, is that we have this feeling of finding the answers for whatever the answer we find the answers for whatever our question might be, and if we think we found the answer with this one person, we buy into we buy into what they are offering, because we just have this innate fear of, I don't understand, I'm not smart enough, you know, I need a guru to guide me, right?
So a good example of that is David Koresh. I don't know if you guys know who David Koresh is.
Exactly, yeah.
So he was the guy in charge of Waco. There's a really good series on Netflix that came out not long ago, kind of retelling a little bit about what Waco was and what not to do in terms of hostage or negotiations. But those types of leaders tend to prey on the vulnerabilities of people.
Yeah.
They are this eccentric leader that I am the one with the answers that can help you find the salvation or the remedy for your ailment. A good example of that as well, there was a product that was released or kickstarted not long ago called Kalo. I don't know if anyone heard about Kalo.
It sounds familiar.
Kailo. So there was a YouTuber called Thunderfoot that made a really good video on it. Was it about a week ago? So it was this revolutionary pain patch that you just slap on this patch of plastic and nanotransmitters, and it just poof magically takes your pain away. And Thunderfoot made a really good argument of, they're selling this to you for $200. If it does what it claims it does, it would have been patented, picked up by every major pharmaceutical organization, and deployed across the world. They wouldn't need to have some from crowdfunding.
It's like Flex Seal.
Yeah.
This shit don't work.
It looks like, I'm looking at it now. It looks like a lidocaine patch without the
Yeah.
lidocaine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, and so I would bet. I would bet what they play upon is the placebo effect.
Snake
Well,
oil.
placebo effect, and they prey on people's vulnerabilities. So people that suffer from mental health difficulties are a very vulnerable population. And when someone presents them with this thing will help you deal with this thing that you're suffering from, well, they tend to want to jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If someone's been suffering from those migraines and they come up to, look, you pay $500, take this thing, and all your migraines are going to go away, it's very tempting. Certainly when they're in that vulnerable state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do your homework.
Yes.
Well, and-
Psychobabble tends to kind of play on that to make the person sound like they really know what they're talking about. They sell the message because they're using those big words, that jargon.
And one of the gripes that I personally have about a lot of online media is that they write headlines that sound exactly like this: do this one thing and you won't be depressed ever again. You're like, what? Wait, what?
Right.
There is no one thing, because if there was a one thing, I'd be reading
I'd be out
about
of a
it.
job.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
exactly.
I'd be done.
Right, but I mean, it doesn't even have to be depression. You know, do this one thing and lose 20 pounds. Well, guess what? The one thing is stop eating so much. There you go. But what you have are articles with headlines written vaguely enough, worded the right way. And believe me, this is a skill. I have been asked multiple times to write this stuff. It hurts my brain to write it, but it works. Unfortunately, you just say you find an issue that is a hot button: losing weight, being pretty, being smarter, whatever the one thing is, and you say do these two things and you'll be the smartest person in the room. Or those stupid ads on Facebook: only 14% of people can get this puzzle right. And you're like, no, anybody with a brain and a phone can look up, okay, this is how you solve it. It takes you that long, but the goal is to get you to click and react instead of thinking and deciding, right?
Any therapist worth their salt will not make a promise that they will cure you. What they will do is, and this is what I say to most of my clients as well, is I will be here with you through this journey and help you in any way that I can to learn the tools that will help you manage what's going on. Not promising a cure. We're not going to solve what's going on, because you can't cure mental health.
So, and I think that also speaks to how humans in general think. They think people generally believe that happiness is this thing, and once I have it, I will always have it. So they're constantly striving to be happy. when it's not a destination. It's a process. I didn't become a good umpire the first time I walked on a field. I became a good umpire, 8 years later when I started to really figure stuff out. I didn't start off being a positive, upbeat person. I had to make a decision like, okay, I'm not going to be angry about this. I'm going to choose to forgive this person, even if I never tell them that I forgive them. Or I'm going to choose to forgive myself for being a moron and making a really bad decision and saying things that I shouldn't have said to that person. I'm going to forgive myself, because that's the hardest part, right?
And I often talk about being happy as this simple equation of one more day. In a year, if you have 183 good days and 182 bad days, that was a good year. Simple as that.
Well, yeah,
When you think about it,
right.
for an entire year, you can have 182 bad days. Sounds like a lot of bad days, but you have one more, and it's a good year.
Right. Well, and that speaks to humans in general being pretty resilient creatures. I know that I dealt with a lot of issues in my own life and my own problems, and
Mhm.
I always tried to keep the mindset of, there might be a day when this crushes me, when I can't get up and when I can't function like a human, or this breaks me in half and I just ruins the rest of my life. But that day is not gonna be today. It might be in the future, but it's not gonna be today. And that mindset of, okay, not today, and then eventually got to the point where, like, okay, I got to the point where I'm like, okay, now I'm in a better mindset of, I making better decisions that over time pile up to where, I'm now a completely different person.
Motivated yourself.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Right.
No. Very cool. No, I absolutely love this topic. I know we can spend all night talking on it. Thank you so much, Dr. Goku and Matt and Bill and everybody for, being a part of this conversation. It's definitely something that I would love to chat more about down the road. Maybe we'll bring it up at a later time too, because it's
We'll circle back to it like we
yeah.
always do.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But right now, let's talk about some gaming. Let's dive back into that. Nate, why don't you bring us into some gaming news, man?
So yeah, thankfully you put the Destiny news right up in front, because I know we could go long on that one.
Actually, I didn't put that up in front. If you look at the show notes, I put the dots in front of it, because I knew if we touched on Destiny first, we'd be spending all night on it.
I don't.
Well, it was a
see
big
that-
thing that happened today.
Well, there was patch notes released for a bug fix that was
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. There's a
people
lot
were
to talk
not
about.
happy.
Nope.
I
saw all that,
missed. I missed something. What did I miss?
patch. What is it? 2.8.1.3.
Sure, sounds right.
Patch note came out that said fix the Fellwinter's lie bug.
Oh,
Which was annoying because you were, after hours and hours on grinding, I'm at the last step. And you go to the bunker,
yes.
open it up,
Hello?
and you
Hello.
just get spawned right in front of Eris, and you're in a bug state, and you have to wait for the fix.
Now you just gave like a little synopsis about that. So what Nate and Dr. Goku are talking about in Destiny 2 right now, there's a quest for the Fellwinter's Lie shotgun and to
You mean sniper rifle?
Fellwinter Sniper, which is from Destiny 1, which was a PvP dominating, firearm. And it really was. And they brought
And
it back.
It's so good right now.
They brought it back with a static roll, I believe. It's not random, right? It's static.
No.
No, it's static, and it has shot package.
Yep. And
So so on the third and fourth columns, though, you have some perks that you can choose.
well, that's good too. A little variety on that, and
But
you
the
can
one
put
really
mods
care
on.
For, it has a masterwork of range
Yep.
and shot package.
Yep.
Don't learn, do they?
So
Well,
it's a sniper rifle.
It always was. But getting back to the quest and the start of this, the quest was called the Lie to go after this, and it got to a certain point where Dr. Goku just touched. As soon as you got to the last step, it was bugged out and would bring you to the moon location in front of Eris Morn, and no one could finish this. Which
Yeah, people spend hours just kind of driving through the moon trying to figure out what do we do.
No directions, no nothing. People thought it might be like a little hidden quest, a puzzle to figure out. Nope, it was literally just a bug. DMG went on Twitter like late night and actually said this is bugged. We were working on a patch in the morning, because it was about 1 a.m. when he put a message out. Like, kudos for Bungie, and constantly their community team is just so top notch with communication and everything like that. I mean, and Dylan, get some sleep, man. Jesus.
Take care of
For
yourself.
God's
Take
sakes.
care of yourself, yeah.
Please.
But no, yeah, this bug
He's
Does-
got friends play, and they went, dude, wake up.
Yeah, probably. No, but for a little bit, I thought this kind of. How many people think that this was actually bugged or actually a planned? Like, it was called The Lie. The quest is called The Lie. I think it was kind of gated.
The lie falls into
for-
the lore.
Exactly.
It does.
Yeah,
It does.
it does.
But no.
Hands.
What?
Show of hands. Bug.
I'm going
Bug,
bug.
bug.
No, I'm gonna be that one. I'm gonna be the one
Okay,
out of six.
fine.
You're that one,
Well,
that
see-
one holdout.
But see, but see, now, Joe, I want you to know that you're not alone. There were people that actually thought Bungie wanted us to fail because they wanted us to not be able to complete the quest. Because as if we would have completed the quest and all the pyramid ships would somehow be stopped. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
I don't think it was like that. I think it was literally tied in with, at first, they had to patch the quest at the beginning because it called for
Yeah, 'cause you had to do
9 million
9 million.
of those public events, and they chopped it down, and the community pumped it out by Sunday night. So Sunday night they wanted to jump into the rest of the quest, and they couldn't.
Yeah,
because of the bug.
Someone
I
had
think-
done the math that it would have taken 188 days
Yeah.
to complete it.
I think they actually were like, okay, they're going to crush this by Monday. We need to get a little more time out of it. They put that in there to draw it out to the weekend to get us closer to reset. That way it kind of is gated into the time frame that they were hoping for. That's my theory. It's probably way off, but and I'm probably going to edit this out. But that's where I'm sticking. But anyways, I don't want to get hung up on this all night. The one cool thing I did think that they brought back for this is if you were a fan of Destiny 1, you remember in the Rise of Iron, one of the funnest things to do was to climb Fellwinter's Peak. They brought that back in this quest. You can climb back up to the top of Fellwinter's Peak, and I think that
Yeah,
is
you kind
so
of glitched through
Yeah.
in the Vostok map. So you kind of glitched through that wall.
Yep.
And then you can go back to Fellwinter's Peak.
cool. I think that's so cool.
Nice.
That is cool.
They should just bring back that location.
They should, and you know what? It's still there, so
It is there.
it's got to be tied in somewhere. Because if it wasn't in Destiny 2, if it was honestly not meant to be there, you wouldn't be able to go there. I mean,
No, it's modeled and everything. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's just a D1 asset, but
I don't
it's
think
where
so.
We're gonna go when the pyramids come.
Shut up, Alan.
Hot take.
Hot take right there. I love it. I love it. I love it.
He just comes out of right field. Just it's where we're all gonna go. You know what? You're probably not wrong. And
we're not going to go to the farm.
Well, so actually, hold on.
yeah,
though,
we're gonna
hold
go
on,
into the
though.
basement.
Hold on though. Once you complete the quest and you draw the full arc of the story and you read the lore behind the gun, going to Fellwinter's Peak makes a lot of sense. But I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So if you haven't completed the quest, that's
enough.
fine. I'll stop right there. What I'm saying is, it's important that you hear that last quest step. It's very important because it draws together a lot of things that don't make sense. And when you hear that story arc, you're like, oh, now I
It
get it.
makes it that I don't really trust Rasputin anymore.
Exactly. And that's why I said, that was why I said that old glitch from like 2 weeks ago, where if you spawned in the tower, went to Zavala and turned back around to Eververse, you could see where something had damaged the tower. That's more important when you think about that whole arc of the story. So
I don't know why anyone
Because they've
would
been
trust
building
Rasputin
Rasputin
anyways.
since
Very true.
the Warmind DLC. So for
Yeah.
the last 2 years.
Well, they kind of had
Is it 2
to.
years?
Uh,
A
year.
A year.
They've been building Rasputin for this past year, and you're thinking, oh, okay, he's gonna be this player, and now you're just, ooh,
I hear
not so sure anymore.
one. I never trusted that for anyways.
I want to go. I
Yeah.
want to see Charlemagne. I want to see him pop up. That Warmind. I know we need to get Anon. Somebody wake him up and get him to talk on
Pick up
this.
Charlemagne, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But-
War Minds is not the answer.
But the new season for Destiny 2, we're gonna see the pyramid ships come. You can see it on in one of the Rasputin bunkers. There's a live feed. They're getting close. People are
But they're
speculating
changing
Titan.
the skyboxes as well.
Wait, are they?
All the locations that you're going through, the more public events we're doing, the more of those towers are popping up in the skyboxes.
Yep, they are.
The
Have you ever
Rasputin
noticed when-
towers?
Yeah. So the more
Well, yeah,
the
they're it's
season
his
goes
weapons,
on-
aren't they? That's what we're trying to get going to shoot the Almighty out of the sky before it crashes into the last city.
Yeah, so the more as the season goes on, it was like the Vex Gate back in the season with the Vex. Back in
That was kind of a little lackluster at the end. It was kind
Yeah,
of
so
like
it was
we were
gonna
kind of
build in
really
that
hoping
gate.
for like something really epic, and it was like it's just a big Minotaur. That's all it
yeah,
is.
well, they said they're
Or no, it
building
was the Hive Mind.
each season on top of each other. That it's going to come to a culmination point at the end of the next season.
Right. I mean, and I fully believe them because Destiny or Bungie has a huge track record of kind of awesome, stale, like stagnant, awesome, stagnant, awesome. So if you look at their track record and you've been playing Destiny long enough, you know the lulls are leading into something. And they always have a fantastic, I'm not going to say redeemer, but it's all by design. They have to try things in these middle expansions and everything to make something great that they're working on down the road. Like let's say half the team is working on the fall expansion. Well, we want to try and implement this and that. Put this in this season, one little thing. See if that works. See what data we get from that. Put this in the next one. See what we get from that. Put this in the next one. See what we get from that. Okay, that worked. That didn't work. That somewhat worked. If we tweak it, it'll be really good. And then put it into the fall one and boom, there you go. I mean, that's where my mindset is with it. And I think it's going to lead into something pretty awesome. I mean, I'm just excited we're getting a new race. Not a Scorn or anything. I mean a new enemy. The Veil, and I want to see where it goes, but
I'm interested to see where the next season's going to go.
for sure. And that starts June 9th?
June 9th.
June 9th. So we're not far away from it.
Old.
Oh.
So as a thought for the fall expansion, I'll toss this out and you guys can kind of play with it. So the thoughts behind that people are saying that you're going to have a Holdren come back, which has been
Right,
been
they've
hinted
been-
at
yeah.
for a long time, right? Okay,
Yeah, we know he's there. He's
Right.
been in the lore.
right. So here's my kind of short story version of what I think is going to happen fall DLC.
Siva.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, it's not going to be Siva. What's going to happen is this: you're going to have him Holdren come back, and there will be a push by Saint 14 to make him part of the Vanguard because he's a hunter, and you have Zavala. Hold on, and you have Zavala, who is still bitter about Cade being killed, but Saint 14. Generally, people love Saint 14, and Saint 14 puts his arms around Uldren, who's a guardian. Doesn't understand why he
wasn't here.
Right, he doesn't know why people hate him and they're throwing. He doesn't know why. He has no concept of it. Saint 14 puts his arms around Uldren, says, "Whatever happened. You're here now. We need you. We need your help." So that creates a split. You have the people on Zavala's side who are like, "No, he killed Cade. No, he can never." Then you have people who love Saint 14's like, "Well, Saint 14's pretty upstanding dude. If Saint loves him, then I'm fine with it." So
Because he has
Zavala,
a good point.
exactly.
It's Aldrin, but not Aldrin.
Right. So you have these two factions. You have Saint on one side and Zavala on the other. And Saint and Zavala decide we're going to have it out. We're just going to fight it out. Whoever wins, wins, and that's the end of it. And partway through the fight, you have Zavala, and he realizes this fight is pointless. We're just tearing ourselves apart. And he says to Saint, Saint, that's enough, man. That's enough, man. You win. You're right. You win. Saint then and I know this goes against.
You put a lot of thought in this. You got this all played out.
Saint then becomes he then becomes the Titan Vanguard, and guess what Zavala becomes? The Speaker.
I was gonna say the Cryptarch.
No, you have Zavala. You have Zavala.
He'd be better than Rahul.
So
You know what? It would make sense that he becomes the new
this
speaker.
here is how you do spin foil.
Nailed it.
But then that brings all of humanity together. And yes, people are still upset about losing Cade. I get that part. But Aldrin has no concept of what that means because he's a Guardian and he's forgotten everything. So everybody's moving forward. What happens then with I know people like, but what then happens is what then happens is Ikora has a spiritual crisis and has to go into seclusion. But that's just me talking out loud. I got you, Nate. I got you. But that would make an awesome fall. That story in the fall DLC would be the best story possible.
It would also open up the door for faction wars again.
Thank you.
Bill, have you pitched this to anybody yet?
It's half written out. He's on chapter 3.
I'm not saying that sarcastically. Can you please pitch this?
Okay. I mean, I would bet Bungie has already decided what they're going to do for the next 2 or 3 years, and that's fine. But I'm just saying that story in my head would make the best story ever. And so when you combine that with the fact they haven't done anything with Ikora in about 6 months, I'm like, she's one of the most powerful characters in the game, and she just stands there in the tower all day and doesn't do a dang thing.
Doing nothing.
What we were
She doesn't do anything. What does Amanda Holiday do?
is kind of
I
do that
know.
long, and we floof around. That's what us warlocks do.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I'm fine with the floofing. Hey, I just want you to know that a couple weeks ago, for charity, I floofed. Now, I normally eat crayon for a living, but I floofed for charity a couple of weeks ago. We raised, I'm telling you, I was part of this large group of streamers who pulled us off. I think we raised like 2,500 or some sort of insane amount of money for St. Jude. So I don't have any problem with warlocks. I'm just saying. We got to do something with Ikora because she's just standing there in the tower and like, come on, girl, you're like, oh, she's got this cool sort of vibe, hotness to her. I'm like, oh,
Bill.
Now,
Bill.
she can. I'm telling you right now, she can teleport me anywhere she wants.
Okay, moving on. Nate, what else we got in the news?
Oh, I gotta go
Oh
home.
boy. I need an adult.
No, this is how we got here.
Anyway, sorry about that. I'll stop now.
all right. So next thing we have on topic. Apparently, Epic has been doing this run. Is this going to become a trend where they're just giving away a free game every week or so?
They
They're
have
doing.
been.
Yeah, they're doing. It's called their. What's it called? It's a.
Epic Mega Sale.
Epic
free
Mega Sale
games.
event.
They were giving away free games monthly, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Arkham trilogy for free.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
Oh, I guess
Back in September
Mm-hmm.
for Batman's 80th anniversary.
Wow.
So last week they gave GTA 5 out for free, and it kiboshed the entire Epic Store and Fortnite servers.
Broke everything.
they were giving away Civ 6, another very highly popular. You know, if you're a fan of the Civ franchise, Civ 6 is one of the. I think it's one of the more favored. of the group.
Yeah,
You mean
it's
Citizen
the new
6?
game in the Civilization series. It's one of the most popular real-time strategy games.
I like Citizen 6 better. I think that's a better game.
What? I agree with you, Joe. It was a good
Thanks, man.
I got you.
It's a little inside thing if you're listening. Right before we got on, Nate loves picking on my grammar and mistakes, and he picked it up as soon as we got in, and he goes, "Joe, I got you, bud. Don't worry." And he pointed out, I wrote in the show notes Citizen 6, not Civilization.
Which sounds like something that would be a sequel to THX 1138, right?
What is that?
Huh?
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 What?
You don't know THX 1138?
I need an adult again.
Oh my god,
What?
I'm broken.
You're not
Phil-
the only one.
So Cliff Notes.
Yeah. What does that break down to?
Google THX 1138.
I'm not Googling it.
I got you.
It is George Lucas. You know who George Lucas is, right?
Who?
Oh, so it was George Lucas's first film prior to Star Wars.
Well, good for him. I mean,
That's where THX was born.
Right.
so what the hell is THX? Is that
So-
The sound standard.
Yes.
Oh.
Right. So when George Lucas actually made the first trilogy, he had to invent a lot of his own technology to make it work.
Oh, now we're going in a George Lucas history
No,
thing.
I was before this gets derailed. Something like Citizen 6 sounds like it would be a sequel to the series.
Yep.
That's all I was doing with it. I'm sorry.
It literally went over almost everyone's head.
But speaking of movies and kind of reinventing it, the next point on non-gaming news, as the background can kind of show, they finally announced the long-awaited Snyder Cut for Justice League.
True story.
Released in 2021 on HBO Max.
If it's done, why are they waiting until 2021?
It's not done.
Oh.
They green lit it, and they're giving Zack Snyder time to actually finish it. So what had happened is during the production of the movie, Zack Snyder had a loss in the family, and the movie was not finished and was given to Joss Whedon and kind of kiboshed by the studios.
Oh, I thought it was J.J. Abrams that finished it.
No, it was Joss Whedon. So the Snyder Cut is a 4-hour cut of the movie. So the movie's going to be 4 hours long,
Shut
Oh
up.
my god.
or it's going to be divided into 6 chapters. And they have a $20 to $30 million budget to finish the CGI.
Oh.
And all of it will be cleaning
On
up
HBO
Harvey
on
Cavell's
HBO Max.
mustache.
Oh, yes.
My body just hurts thinking about sitting there. For
No, you know
4
what? Good.
hours.
You know what? You're gonna be home watching it, so hopefully your
Oh.
couch is comfortable. No, good for him. Good for them for Greenlight. I know the article I read touched on he did a rough cut of it, showed it a private screening at his house or somewhere, and it was received very well and is. If you've seen any of Zach's previous movies in the DC universe, it's a very dark tone. He takes
Because
the
Man
DC.
of Steel was really good. Batman v Superman, I'm guessing that was kind of kiboshed by the studios as well. WB Studios tend to kind of kibosh their movies.
The best part of actually, tell you the truth, there's lingering rumors about them remaking that one, doing a remake of Batman vs Superman. But the best part of that movie, 2 parts. One, when Batman went into the warehouse and
Oh, so
went
good.
all Arkham City on the bad guys throughout the building. That was an awesome scene. And
Ben Affleck is a great Batman.
yeah, I thought so
is.
too.
He may get flack for a lot of the other movies, but he was a perfect Batman.
He might have been flat for, 25 other movies he's made, but Batman, he was good. No, I thought he was great too, and a lot of people don't like it because he portrayed a Batman that this is all after the fact. This is after he fought Joker. This is after after all that stuff that you would catch.
It's Batman retired after years of.
This is almost Batman Beyond,
No.
In between Batman and Batman Beyond.
almost.
So what this is, in case people, and I think you have to be almost my age to know this, there was a two comic book miniseries written, drawn, inked, 100% was
Frank Miller.
yes,
Dark Knight Returns.
Yes, Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns. Batman vs Superman is a watered down version of that comic, and that movie failed because
And Death of Superman.
Yes, Frank Miller is a freaking genius. If they'd have taken more of Frank Miller's concepts and tried to put them into the story, would have done a ton better. But
Well, they actually did that. They actually made a Dark Knight Returns movie. They have
Right.
Marvel Cinematic Universe
Yep.
and then DC Animated.
Right.
Right. So
Huh?
So why is it that the DC animated universe is so much better than
So
the actual
good.
movies? Oh, dude, it's so dark and gritty and they swear and everything. Oh,
They
Go
stay true to the comics.
To the
Yes.
source.
They stay true to that. They make the source material come to life
Right.
realistically.
Do you think they have more freedom to do so? Like it's
I would
like actors and agents going, my actor, can't, they need more screen time. We need to put in more scenes for them, or
Well,
we need
they
to
can
do this
more
and that. Think they get
because
less?
they know they
push.
give more creative liberty because they know they do good work. Because it's
Like Mortal Kombat.
they've proven their abilities since the late 80s. It started with Batman the Animated Series. That's
was
where
the
DC
best.
Animated started.
Oh, that was the best series ever.
Apparently,
Oh,
that
my
guy's voicing something. The voice actor for that Batman is doing something
Kevin
else.
Conroy?
Yeah, he's doing another
So he's doing
project.
something on Instagram that he's reading the new versions of the Adventures of Batman. So it's the comic that ends after the new Adventures of Batman, which is the season 3 or 4 of the Batman the Animated Series.
Well, see, I think part of the reason that live action movies, at least on the DC side, aren't living up to their expectations is that they're trying to make it doesn't have anything to do with the actors. I think it has more to do with the studio trying to appeal to a certain group of people in a certain way that just doesn't fit anymore because when it comes to Batman the Animated Series and the way the Batman cartoons and the comic books in general have drawn, Batman is gritty and tough and intelligent beyond what people understand. That's why, and that's part of the reason that you won't ever see a full live action version of Injustice, because you will never have a live action movie where Superman puts his hand through the Joker's chest. You will never have that because that action would destroy what people think of Superman from age 9 to 90, because Superman is this icon of virtue. He's this paragon of gentleness, even though he could probably destroy everybody if he wanted to. That's why it works in the animation level, but it will never work in the live action level.
But
feel
one
like
thing
part
with
of the problem-
DC. Oh, go ahead, Alan.
Like part of the problem with the transferring to live action stuff is, like you said, they try to make it for a bigger audience. They try to make it more realistic so people can believe it more when
Right.
you look at the source material for some of this stuff, and there's no reason for it to be believable.
Right.
It's, you know, coming from some person's imagination, drawn in cartoon, where they can literally do anything and rationalize it by like space magic. Hey,
Yeah,
you know.
So
Just-
what happens as well is DC they're trying to make their movies so much darker than the Marvel movies. While Marvel has the action and the cinematography, but they also have the lightheartedness that kind of comes along with Marvel Comics.
Right.
One thing that I think the DC movies don't necessarily do so well is to kind of capture some of the essence of some of the characters. Just because if you look at the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, it's a good Batman story, but it's not Batman. In the essence of the character, it's not the essence of Batman. Christian Bale was really good in it, but he's not the it's not the detective and intelligent Bruce Wayne that we know.
Right.
The thing that I saw in the news was Kevin Conroy was going to play Bruce Wayne in Crisis of Infinity Earths, where he plays the old man
the Arrow
Bruce Wayne.
crossover.
Yeah, he plays the old man Bruce Wayne. There's a picture of him actually with the Batman Beyond costume behind him.
Nice.
That's it. I don't know if you know this, but Dr. Goku is a DC fan, especially with Batman.
I'm a big Batman fan.
Be-
as
if you
can
haven't,
see, right?
could tell from the shelves behind him.
So Dark Knight, Christian Bale, Arkham City, and I have the Batwing there, and I have some more over there.
A notepad.
What name?
Oh man.
What's this? Oh, that. You like that? There you go, Nate.
That's
Edit.
Professionals here.
that's why. That's why Nate was dancing before.
I was wondering what he was doing. Nate's like doing this
Yeah, I know,
thing,
like,
and I'm
Nate,
like, is he
I thought I honestly
interacting with
thought he was
somebody?
doing- that's what I thought. I went to go look in the Twitch chat really quick, and I'm like, nobody's asking for a dance. I'm confused.
So I had to put. If you're listening, I'm gonna edit this out, so it'll be gone. But
Yeah.
I popped a chat box open, and apparently it was open over Nate or somebody,
Over Nate's face.
and I didn't notice it. And
High quality production value, folks.
It was deliberate. You know that, Joe.
I swear I had no idea. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked.
This is the kind of stuff that I rib Joe about. You know, he just makes these little silly things, and instead of just being like, "Dude, you're blocking my face," I'm subtle and snarky, and he loves me for it. He'll never admit it.
Edit. No. Fair enough. Fair.
Timestamp here.
No, I love it. Love you, man. We can literally sit and talk about the Snyder Cut. Actually, we went from the Snyder Cut to everything else. So
But
let's move
with
on. I
HBO
think
Max,
we
they're
got that.
positioning themselves as another streaming service that you have to get.
Actually, I think if you have HBO now, you have access to it.
It's going to be coming out.
It's already out.
It is already out.
I think the
I think
release
it-
date was May. Actually, no, May like 20th of 2020. So it's like next week.
Just passed or
Or
is coming out
today.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very shortly.
In Canada, we don't get it, but it's bundled in with a Crave. So if you have a Crave subscription, you can get the access to HBO.
We'll have to look into it. I want to see what else is on it. They were boasting like 10,000 hours of content and all this stuff, and I want to know why they feel the need to another streaming platform for their brand. Like, it's HBO, HBO On, HBO Go, blah blah blah. It's freaking
Because
HBO.
they
Come
get
on.
all your money.
So I'm gonna pay $11.99 twice? No, I'm gonna pay $11.99.
Or they might just conglomerate it into one.
I think that's what they're doing. Don't quote me, but
'Cause
we'll find
there's
out.
a lot of streaming services out there now.
Yeah.
Those streaming services were supposed to be like Netflix to kind of cut your cable bill
But it's
and then have like this one-stop shop, and now you're spending more on those streaming services than you are for cable.
Well, it took a little while for the cable companies to catch on, but they did. They saw they're losing millions of dollars. Where are people going? Streaming service. What can we do to get those viewers back and that revenue? Make a streaming
Make
service.
another streaming service.
Okay, so we made a streaming service. What's out there? We have Google, Apple, Roku, blah blah blah. Put it on everything. Put it on cell phones. Make a contract. And you know what? They went to where people are. I mean, that's essentially, we try and do the same thing just with mental health. We try and be where gamers are. So they just are going to where the viewers are, and everybody and their brother. But I will say, Showtime, fix your damn app, man, because that thing's the most. And FX, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're the most infuriating streaming service I have ever encountered. I have never had to log in and put more damn authorization codes in for a freaking try and watch something. It happened so much with FX, I stopped watching the channel, and I there's so much good stuff on there. It's all locked. And it's like, I pay for it. I still can't freaking watch it. Fix it. Edit.
Edit
Timestamp.
point.
All right. Well, let's move on from there. We're gonna.
So what happened over the weekend, Alan?
Over the weekend, Destiny 2 Esports and Last Rites hosted a charity stream where they raised money for Guardians MH. And they managed to raise over $2,600 for us and help promote mental health awareness for the whole weekend. And Friday and I think Saturday night, you guys, Joe, and a couple others were on messing around, playing some games.
Yeah, so we played some Banner on Friday, and we brought Matt through his first pit.
Yes, and that was a lot of
on
fun.
Saturday.
which was fun. That was a lot of fun.
So I just want to make sure, as a newbie going through the pit, when you get to the space with all the doors, so did the other two guys go, okay, so did the other two guys kind of send you ahead to the magical doors that when you got to one would shoot you off into space?
No, they were.
What's wrong?
They were very nice to me.
Come on, there's
I know.
rules here.
I did tell the story that I went
We
through.
did,
Yes.
yeah. From King's Fall,
Yeah.
the original King's Fall of just troll.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, they-
But-
Encounter.
What was it? I went through the first time I went through the pit. I went through with Roderick, and Roderick actually let me hit the wall, one of the doors, and he helped design the pit. And he's like, I don't remember which door this was, but it's to get something. I think it's like this one, and it's on the left somewhere. And it was like, he's like, oh, that's right. Like, oh, we actually need to go down there. The path's down there. And I'm like, I thought we had to go through one of these doors. No, I just wanted to see you do that.
It was the expletive wall.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, yeah. It's like it's like in the Garden of Salvation raid when you beat a large harpy with all the tubes. So when you finish that part and you have to go through the next portal, and they say, hey, so if we all go through this portal at the same time, it's a triumph. So ready, 1, 2, and I knew that I was being controlled, but I was going to play along. Okay, ready, 1, 2, 3, and I jumped through and died. That one. Yeah.
People making their own little trolls within the community.
Right. That's right.
Good fun. Kind of like
It's-
how.
What's that?
So it's all in good fun. Kind of how like how I rib you all the time.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so
Good example, Nate. No, I'm kidding.
$20 raised over the weekend, and this was again a pop-up. I have it on good authority from people I know that are within the last rights that this has been planned for months. So they're
Wow.
trying to devise a way to surprise us and do this fundraiser for us. Kudos.
Good job.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
man.
Yes,
It's
thank you.
greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We actually have something very special. We are working with a prop master in the community that is designing something to thank them for this charity stream, and it's such an honor, and just it literally it leaves me speechless when people do this for us and do streams. I mean, you can ask Dr. Goku. We're so used to hosting our own that when
Yeah,
somebody
it's kinda
does it
surreal.
for us, we don't know what to do with our hands. You know what I mean?
We need
Yeah,
to do
it's like-
something.
Well, and again, it's one thing to do it without even bothering to tell us. It's just like, we're doing this for you, and we're not. It's not coordinated with us at all. This is.
Yeah.
I
So they were nice enough to let us get on their schedule and do something.
Yeah.
But we actually talked to somebody, and we are having something made special for them to thank them. And, you know, in the future, anybody else that hits a certain goal with their charity, you know, with their stream or, benefit for us, we'll do something special for them as well as a thank you. It's the least we can do. And, yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, it really is, and it was so heartwarming. I think it was their first charity stream. Somebody was telling me, but or it was the Destiny 2 esports people were saying it was their first one, but everybody absolutely was loving it. So they're looking forward to doing more in the future, and they did such a great job. I mean, there were a lot of really great blocks, and I love polar bear, so I had to tune in for polar bears for its entirety, and I try to host and follow and interact and all that as much as I possibly could to give them all the support from us that we possibly could. And we did some great giveaways too. Instead of Dr. Goku winning, Matt's wife won from behind him and gave a big old woohoo from behind. And it's like,
Yes.
you know, and you won, you hear. Woo!
And-
It's like,
Yeah.
what? And you look in the camera, you see her hand go up, like, what just happened? She just won. But that's in the mail, just so you know. I got that sent out.
I got it today, so thank you.
And then
Yep.
Chewy's got mailed out as well. So everybody's, we did some great giveaways. If you missed them, sorry, we'll be doing more in the future. But there were some really good ones, and it was a lot of fun. That's all I got. I'm sorry.
Pause.
Awkward pause.
Dramatic pause.
This is
Awkward pause.
But I'm
no, it's
like
not
I'm saying,
awkward. This is just a key to look for to edit. No.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
But like we were saying, I'm still surprised that people do these things for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that
Because, like,
2600 that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Because for so long, we did those streams for other charities,
exactly.
and to have people do those things for us being on that flip side, it's surprising and humbling at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It's surreal. Yeah, I could gush right now. Yeah, the words escape me right now of how to express exactly what that means, and just helping us promote mental health and do some of the things that we do to help others. I mean, that's what it's all about, helping others and creating things and programs and things that will help other people or will help them find, the resources that will guide them to the places they need to be to get the proper help for them. I mean, thank you very much. Thank you. What else? Is that all we have for community news?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps us up for this evening. To us, it's evening. To everybody else,
Yeah.
listening, it could be 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Edit number 46. This is the part of the show where I just ramble on excessively.
It's that time of night.
It is. But no, Bill, thank you so much for coming on with us. It was such a pleasure having you on again. Being on with you again, chatting. Like I said at the beginning, at the top of the show, when we first started, it's always a pleasure getting an opportunity to connect with you and to carry our conversations further. And you're just a very positive individual, and I love everything you do. And
Thank you very much. Thank you.
keep it up, man. I absolutely love it. And if I ever get an opportunity to play with you on PC, man, I would absolutely love it.
I would love to play with you guys anytime you want on PC. I would welcome that opportunity. That'd be awesome.
You're not going to turn into a pumpkin, are you, at like a certain time of night? Because
Well, there is a point at which probably age thing. It's probably age thing. I think I hit about 2 a.m. I start just kind of like going off on tangents, and it just gets worse from there. Just saying.
okay, 2 o'clock in the morning is my cutoff, just so you know.
We might have to make that stream happen.
Yeah.
I am 100% for that. I am
Thank you.
100% for the late night goofiness stream. 100%.
Could you walk us through? Well, could you walk me through my first Warzone?
I can try really hard and
That's-
show you. I can walk you through it, and I can show you what I can show you what not to do. I can show you a lot of things not to do.
I'm okay with
By example, right?
Don't do this. Don't
I'm
jump
down
here,
for that as well. We need to
Don't
group up and work on that.
Let's
Alright.
go.
Don't land here. Watch out for this. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Maybe we'll stream that. I'll download it.
It's a fun
It
game.
is free.
Yes, it
It's
is free.
free.
It's a fun game. Yeah, that's a fun game.
We'll look into that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
But
we'll make it happen.
Yes, I'm 100% for that. 100%.
But thank you again, Bill, for coming on, and thank you everybody for the great topic this evening with discussing the term psychobabble. Matt, Dr. Goku, everybody. It was a really good one. I really enjoyed this one, and thank you everybody that tuned in to listen to us. We're Guardians MH Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Guardians MH. On Twitch with the same. And if you want to email us, feel free to email us any questions, concerns, suggestions, anything like that. If you need help finding any mental health resources and you're comfortable emailing us, it's support@guardiansmh.org. You can also reach us on our Twitter as well as our Discord server. We have a fantastic Discord server that you can chat with mental health professionals. There's a solid mental health peer support network there, and it's a great opportunity to get into a safe and inclusive atmosphere with others and open up and ask any questions that might be on the top of your head. Also, you can find the podcast anywhere wherever you get your podcast from, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, you name it. We're there, and if you could do us a solid favor, we don't ask this very often, and I really think we should leave us a review. Leave us
on iTunes. Give us a review on iTunes.
iTunes, literally anywhere. Give us a review. Tell us what you think. Help the podcast grow a little bit. That's how we grow. Give us a star, like us, share us. Help us grow a little bit more and have a little bit further reach. Really appreciate it, and thank you so much for tuning in with us. We'll catch you next time. Have a wonderful evening, day, morning, night. I'm rambling now because it's that time of day. All right.
It's late.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a great
Bye,
one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have fun. Be well. Be
Bye.
well, everybody.
Edit 46.